From Sand Mountain to Zip City and all points in between.
These are family memories. I remember growing up as a kid, we would come here and do this, and so it's great to bring my family back to be able to do these same things.
And beyond.
I'm reporting live in Athens with coverage you can count on. Maddie McCaffrey, Way 31 News.
Yes, here in the Storm Tracker with Sports Director Max Cohen right now. We are driving currently in downtown Huntsville.
But, of course, for now, I'm going to send things back to you in the warm studio with coverage you can count on. I'm Amber Kulik, Way 31 News.
The only station in the Valley with live team coverage since 4:30 this morning.
North Alabama and Southern Tennessee are right now under a winter storm warning, and also all of those counties in both North Alabama and Southern Tennessee also under states of emergency, as our Way 31 Storm Tracker weather team predicted.
And all night. Way 31 News at 4 starts now.
Coverage you can count on. This is Way 31 News at 4.
We're tracking the impacts of winter weather across North Alabama. Thanks for joining us for our continuous coverage of today's weather event. I'm Tori Dunnan.
And I'm Nikhil Williams. Right now, we've been bringing you team coverage from Sand Mountain to the Shoals and everywhere in between. Of course, we will continue to do so all evening. We will check in with each of our crews in just a moment. But first, we want to check in with Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Castle. Jeff, you've been here all afternoon. What are you dealing with right now? We saw what you predicted unfold this evening. What are you tracking right now as this continues to roll through?
Well, still kind of what we expected would be unfolding at the tail end of this winter storm. That is kind of a mixed bag of precip. We're not done with that precipitation yet. But we have gotten through the most impactful part of the storm, which was the accumulating snow from earlier this morning. With that said, though, Way 31 triple Doppler, there is still some precip out there. Most of it liquid form, but there are some spots where there is some snow. That's the white and the blue that you see, parts of southern Tennessee. And when you start getting into this purple and pink color, that's your wintry mix. That's a little sleet, and perhaps in some areas where temperatures are running around the freezing mark that we have in portions of Sand Mountain, that is also in the form of some light freezing rain. I'll focus in a little closer here. Huntsville, it's mostly just light rain, but maybe occasionally mixing in a sleet pellet or some snowflakes in a few spots. We head over into Sand Mountain, and again, a little bit more in the way of sleet, although some rain mixed in, and especially this pink color over to Cobb County. That's an indication of the radar picking up possibility that we have some freezing rain, and that is because particularly from Gunnersville to Fort Payne, even back to Scottsboro, temperatures there have been running right around 32 degrees. So just be aware of that. This is where, if we have some slick spots, they're most likely to be found. In other areas where temperatures have warmed just a hair, roads aren't terrible. Won't say they're 100% drivable everywhere, but not as bad as it was a little bit earlier. This is rainfall showing up around the Shoals right now, but that does transition over to a little bit of light snow as you head there into southern Tennessee, where temperatures are just a little bit colder. We're 34 in Huntsville and in Decatur, 35 in Muscle Shoals. There you see those numbers running around freezing from Scottsboro down towards the Gunnersville area. So we will have to monitor for some slick spots redeveloping overnight tonight, especially as our temperatures drop back off just a little bit heading into the overnight hours. There's a view in Hourville right now. Coating of snow out there, but some of it has melted and settled. So that's why you are seeing some patches of bare ground out there compared to what it looked like a little bit earlier on today. But snow day for everyone. There was some concern that it may not work out for everyone here in North Alabama, but all places got at least some accumulation out of it. Here's your forecast into this evening, and temperatures will be critical as to how slick the roads get here for the next few hours. Right now, all indications are that for many of us, we stay above 32 degrees, but in some locations that could certainly change. And again, we'll wind down that wintry precip that we have ongoing as we work our way through the next several hours. I'll be back in just a few moments. We'll talk about what to expect for the weekend. Refreeze will be a problem where the snow and ice remains for the next several days. I'll let you know when it will all melt away for good coming up in your forecast.
The winter weather is creating some hazardous conditions on several roads across North Alabama.
Let's go ahead now and give you a look at our Way 31 traffic maps. And right now we can see that things are running pretty smoothly across the area. In most places, we do see a few crashes. Looks like in the Decatur area in Huntsville. Looks like a few accidents there, and it looks like we have some road closures down toward the bottom of the map there. to the east of Coleman. But so far, things are running smoothly, and that's the way we like to see it. We don't see any orange or red on the map right now, so it looks like for the most part, people are taking it easy and being careful out there while they're on the roadways. We hope you continue to do so out there if you have to be out and about. The best bet is to stay home if you can, but take it slow if you're going to be out there.
Meantime, our Way 31 sports team has been in the Way 31 storm tracker since about 5:30 this morning. Jim Abbott now jumping in, keeping an eye on the road conditions in Madison County.
Jim, tell us how things are looking where you are right now.
Yeah, Tori and Nicole, as you said, things not quite as bad as they were before. And it kind of echo what you said. Same thing that some of the other emergency management officials were saying earlier, certainly in Marshall and DeKalb County, that people really were heeding their precautions about going out. They weren't finding a lot of people alongside of the roads. Max and I have been driving for about an hour now throughout Madison County. We only saw one car that was abandoned on the side of the road. 565 has really gotten much better. Now, they have plowed it. They had pre-treated it before. Certainly the outside lane and the middle lanes were fine. Pretty much just wet. We weren't really seeing anything as far as, any snow or ice or anything packed there. Let me give you a look right now. We are headed up Airport Road, kind of where it turns into Carl T. Jones, heading into Jones Valley. And it's a little different when we're going on some of these roads. We're in the right side lane, and here it's not quite as bad. But some of the other less traveled roads, we were just on California and some of those, it's actually the outside lanes that are a little bit trickier because you get some of that snow that's coming off, the curb that's kind of spilling into the street, making it a little tougher. It's actually the inside lane that's a little bit better. Now here there's obviously the median that's in the middle, but when you have those 5 lanes, you got the two lanes going one way and 2 in the other, and you've got that middle lane. That is where a lot of that snow has kind of been, trudged on a little bit, and as it's getting colder, it's going to start hardening up. So when you start going to make a turn, it's going to be really tough, for your tires to get some traction there and kind of knock you out. So if you have to travel a little later on, beware of that. Right now, it's not too bad. Max and I were just talking, though. If you were to go out, I'm not really sure where you would go. A lot of places have closed. So we haven't seen much of anything open. There are a couple gas stations are open, but there really isn't anything much to do as you do go out. But again, from what we're seeing is now we heading towards Jones Valley, is the streets are just kind of wet, not seeing anything slick right now, which is a good thing. And again, a lot of that is due to people taking the precautions and not going out and getting into trouble.
Jim, do you have any idea of how, Tori was wondering how.
Like higher elevations,
Yeah.
Coming down Montesano and such.
How the roads are looking in those areas?
Yeah, when we were on Governors before, it actually was pretty good. Both of the lanes going west and east were in pretty good shape. And at that base there at Montesano Boulevard, right there at Governors, there was a city plow that was pushing things off to the side there. They actually had a couple of trucks that were working on it, so that was great. They've really been doing a phenomenal job of getting out and pushing some of that snow out of the way. So fortunately, we haven't seen a whole lot of that, but we're going to keep driving around and see if we can find, some other spots like that, some of the less traveled roads, the ones that maybe they're not plowing as much and people aren't getting to, just to see what those conditions are like.
Yeah, we know the state, the county and the city, they all have their specific areas that they treat.
Yeah.
And so it's important to know those roads ahead of time because they do provide that information, the specific roadways and routes that they're going to focus on in certain areas.
And they also definitely were out and about. I mean, visible signs
definitely.
of them today and pre-treating as well. So stay safe out there, Jim, and keep us updated.
Leaders in Madison County believe their preparations ahead of today's winter weather has paid off. Huntsville's Public Works Department stationed plows and motor graders across the city. Director Chris McNeese says they've been plowing main thoroughfares, which has helped. However, he still cautions people about leaving their home tonight.
Did want to remind everybody Mr. Chris Jackson is going to step up here in just a moment, tell you about some road closures. Some of those closures are at higher elevations, like your Green Mountains and your Montesano areas. Just be sure if you are getting around those higher elevations, if you're in those communities, in those neighborhoods, please drive with extreme caution. Please drive slow.
For a full list of all road closures across North Alabama, just visit our website, waytv.com. Our team coverage takes us out to Sand Mountain now.
Wave 31 storm tracker meteorologist Amber Kulik now joins us live in Scottsboro. So what's it looking like there now since the last time we talked to you?
Slide.
Yeah, Tori and Nicole. Things just keep changing out here in Scottsboro. So we started out as snow this morning, just pure snow up until about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And then we changed over to sleet. And soon after the sleet came the rain. We did see a break earlier this afternoon, but the rain has returned to Scottsboro. So what Jeff was saying just a minute ago about temperatures being right around freezing and that rain, yeah, we're seeing it here in Scottsboro for sure. But I do want to show you my snowball here. So my photog, Demetrius Hurry, made this for me. And I just want to point out that if you were having a snowball fight today, I hope you made smaller snowballs because this is a wet snow and it is very heavy. So definitely don't want to hit anyone in the face with this. But I also want to show you something else. So where I'm standing at right now, I've been kind of playing with the snow, shifting it back and forth over the past few minutes. And again, our temperatures, they are hovering right around that freezing mark. So where I have shifted the snow around, it's getting slushy already and starting to ice back over. So that is something that we're going to have to watch for, especially here in Sand Mountain as we head into tomorrow morning, because the roads look okay for now, but they're slushy, and that slush is going to refreeze as we head into the overnight hours tonight and early tomorrow morning. So just like we've been telling you all day long, if you don't have to be out on the roadways, stay home the rest of the evening, because we're right around that time where we're going to see the roads start to go downhill as we head through the rest of the evening hours tonight. But of course, for now, live in Scottsboro, with coverage you can count on, I'm Amber Kulik, Wave 31 News.
Thanks for that information. Definitely helpful to see visually, you know, when you talk about under the slush, what it can do. So, all right, let's check in with our crew in Limestone County now.
Wave 31 reporter, let's see, who do we have out there in Athens, Georgia? Yes, and Maddie in Athens right now. You ladies have been out there all day, braving the conditions and taking care of Bucky as well. How are things looking right now, ladies?
Well, Tori, Nicole, it is still wet. I mean, we went through a span there where it was several hours snow, sleet, rain, just getting
all of
pelted. Then it was like, oh, there was nothing.
Nothing. That was the best. It was clear for a little bit. We were just out here enjoying it. It didn't feel as freezing as it was.
And it's back to rain. So the roads are getting a little bit more slick. They've been slick all day, but whenever the sleet or the rain keeps coming down, we can tell the cars are going a little bit slower.
Yes, the roads are slushy. Cars are going pretty slow, but we have seen a few people kind of pick up the speed a little bit. So definitely if you're driving, take it slow. Just be cautious.
And so we've been talking with city leaders all day today. The Public Works Department here in Athens have been sanding all day. They've been plowing, and you can tell that they definitely put in the work. There is no snow on the roads around the Buc-ee's area specifically. It is just wet on the roads. And you talked to who?
I talked to the EMA director, and they've been on call all day long. Luckily, they have not had to respond to many situations, that is. So that is great news for the Limestone County community. He said that most of the roads, as you can see behind us, as we've been telling y'all, are clear, like I-65 and the roads surrounding it. But he did say the back roads is where that becomes a problem. Snowplows have not been able to get to all the back roads.
Absolutely. Now, it is cold out here. We've been out all day. Maddie forgot her gloves this time.
I forgot my gloves. My hands are a little red.
Definitely don't be like her. Have your gloves on you. If you're going to be outside, just make sure you have extra layers on. But for now, Maddie, Paige, reporting in Athens. Back to you guys.
Back to y'all.